Good. It's like frozen. Hold on, bro. All right.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
And we are back for real this time. What's going on, man? What's up with you?
What's happening, bro?
Ain't too much, man, in here enjoying this Monday after a Cowboy loss. My timeline is quiet. The Cowboy fans have shut up and gone home. So that is a welcome surprise for me. How things in Baltimore these days?
Emotional damage.
Boy, I just seen nothing but Cowboy fans, heads down, emotion broken. Like, wow, I just couldn't believe it, man. I was like, what y'all didn't see? We've been saying it for the last couple of years. That is not the guy. He's not the guy.
We've been saying it. And here we are. I can't even really feel. Well, I don't. I definitely wouldn't feel bad because Cowboys fans are just insatiable. But for what it's worth, it's like you said. I've been on here and I am so sad that our man Kenny is not here today. But I've been saying it. I've been saying Taylor Heineke and Dak is not that far apart. I've been saying it, and people have laughed and joked. And we saw Dak for one game versus a very bad team look great, and then he played a good team, a really good team. And now the fans want him out of there. So this is par for the course. This is Dallas doing what Dallas does. And we'll get more into it in a little bit, but that's my 2 cents on that. But we do have to get to some controversy. Well, initially controversy, but it was diffused. And then today, Shannon Sharpe had a very eloquent apology. I thought it was one of the better public apologies I've heard. But the Lakers game played the Grizzlies, if you didn't know. And you probably do know because Shannon Sharpe, Dylan Brooks, T. Morant, and John Morant got into it. It was Negro-dom at its finest in the middle of a professional basketball game. I believe this was I believe this was a nationally televised game. And as a fan, you do that? Like, you are a public personality that is front and center on FS1 every day, and that is what you do as a fan, as someone who has been critical of fans many times. That's what you do as a fan? His head got too big. He getting too much money. He getting too much influence. Something. He keep being in drama like he a diva. Whether it's his co-host or other people now as professional players, he got to chill out. And I hope this was a wake-up call and Brian came out and supported him, which is cool. But I was very, very disappointed. And I've been kind of off Shannon Sharpe. I stopped watching the show for the most part. But Deb, what were your thoughts? You got a different perspective, or what did you think?
Yeah, I got a different perspective, man, because these are what fans has been doing for a nice little minute. They get the chirping, they get the wilding, they get the saying whatever they feel like they want to say. And, you know, for professional players, you kind of got to ignore that noise. I understand this Shannon Sharpe, and I think that's the only reason why people really entertain him, because who he is. Because let that been a regular pedestrian, regular fan, I don't think Dylan Brooks, John Morant, or none of them is going to do none of that what they did. It was because of who Shannon Sharpe is, and you got to understand, man. Some of these fans, they are fans, whether they are public figures or not. Like they are still fans, and they're gonna get their chirp on. They're gonna, scream, shout, whatever whatever the case may be. As long as you walk that fine line of respect. You know what I mean? Now I don't know who dropped the F-bomb first, whether it was Shannon or was it Dylan Brooks. I wasn't there at the game, and me watching it on TV, you really couldn't tell who said it first. So that's the only fine line of respect I would like to see more than anything. It's just I mean, you can shout and yell whatever it is that you want, but once you start screaming the F bombs and come see me and all this other stuff, like now that respect line it has been crossed. And that was the only thing I didn't like about Shannon Sharpe or even Dylan Brooks period. You know what I mean? So that was the only thing I got out of it. You know what I mean? He's just a fan. It just doesn't matter of what stature he's in now. Another way you can also look at it is maybe this is his way of his publicity. Is how to get himself out there. Is maybe you put yourself in a little drama here and there, but it's nothing too big. It's just tune into your next episode of whether it's the Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, or whether it's Uncle Shay Shay. You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna hold you. I listened to his new episode with T.I. on Uncle Shay Shay, and T.I. got straight to the point. He was like, "Whoa, that's how you feeling, big dog? That's how you doing?" And he kept it real. So, like I said, it could be a nice publicity stunt for him, and that's maybe the reason why he took that route. Or he can be that guy that he is a big fan of the Lakers or a big fan of LeBron, and you can't get mad of how he's cheering or he's not riding with y'all. Can't get that mad.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, I get that. I do. But I've been at a number of games, and I've sat relatively close. I've not sat courtside at a Lakers game.
Right.
But if any other fan did that and came onto the court, and then when security was trying to escort them out, kept coming back, come on, dog. We're banned for probably life. You cannot conduct yourself like that's their job. Like they're going to get grace. They're in the heat of battle. You starting to play basketball again. The last thing I want to hear and deal with is some celebrity, and he's not even a celebrity. You're a broadcaster. You're supposed to be a bipartial broadcaster. You're here as a fan talking crazy. You're going at our star player's dad. And you know what's funny? Shannon Sharpe was real chill when Steven Adams was in his face. He ain't have a lot to say when Steven Adams was.
Well, he ain't really back down from Steven Adams either. Steven Adams didn't really cross that line either. So it was
just come on that court talking crazy when Steven Adams was in his face. All of a sudden, John Morant show up. Now I'm uncontrollable. I can't control my emotions. Like, come on, dog. If Stephen A did that, if Colin Cowherd did that, if these broadcast TV talk heads, Mike Greenberg did that, ain't no way, dog.
See, but that's also the difference between
right is right.
Shannon and Stephen A and stuff like that, because maybe that's not in Stephen A character. You know what I mean? Stephen A won't. That's just not who he is. He's not that type of fan. He's probably the type of fan that he's just gonna cheer. Versus Shannon Sharpe, it might be the fan like how me and you are. You know what I mean? Yelling.
But I'm not doing that.
No, now I'm not saying that I'm crossing the line, that I'm yelling. I'm yelling at a player. You know what I mean? Because number one, I'm not even in the NBA, so you got that, big dog. So you know what I mean?
Yelling and cussing in front of all. There could be kids around. There's other people. Like, you can't do that.
Now you want me to yell out? Yeah, you suck. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing that, but no, I'm not going to disrespect nobody. But like I said, I don't want nobody come to my job disrespecting me.
Like, they got to stop. They had to stop my job because you can't control yourself. Like, you were me before. Like, you know how this works. And you can't handle it. All the trash talking you do. And that's what I'm starting to see a lot out of Shannon Sharpe. it seemed like the more and more people that got something to say back to him, he don't take it real well. He don't just let it brushes off his shoulders like he instructed other young people to do. You 50-something years old and you acting like this. Skip Bayless has a job to do. He don't go on the court to LeBron's game. He ain't following LeBron at every city talking crazy. He critiques his game, and that's his job. That is not the same as you showing up at somebody's job talking crazy, saying F you and F you to their parent. You do that outside in the street, see how that go. Conduct yourself accordingly, dog. The standard is higher for somebody like you, especially. Now, Dylan Brooks is Dylan Brooks. Like, everybody knows what he is. He talk trash. That's what he do. If Draymond talk trash, that's what he do. You don't get so upset you didn't got the game stopped.
That's saying how that whole tank fight stopped when Steven Jackson, the Meek Mills and the but I listened to Steven Jackson's side on All the Smoke, and he was pretty much saying that Meek Mill and one of the boxers had got into a disagreement, and only reason why Steven Jackson was in the middle of it because with all of them going back and forth, they was knocking his wife down. So I was like, oh, I get that situation. Now I see why he was totally upset. And yeah, we're going to have to stop this fight too. You try to knock my wife down.
Yeah, and that's I'm glad you brought that up because that was a huge distraction. And Meek left, and he left. He ain't come back and still acting and carrying on. He left. And that's what you're supposed to do. If you got that much animosity built up, you that frustrated, go home, dog. Go get a girl, go get a massage, go do something. But that ain't it. And it's been going unchecked because every time he get into these public spats, everybody back him. So it ain't really been no criticism. Now, guess what? Here's the other part. When Skip Bayless tweeted that tweet, Shannon Sharpe took off the next day. Should Skip have taken off? Should he have not been here Monday? Should he have left Shannon hanging? Because he didn't agree with his actions? Not a tweet. His actions. Or, while Shannon was apologizing, should Skip have interrupted him and said, yeah, I ain't with that. I don't know what that was about.
I don't think he should have interrupted him. But I would have
the same energy.
I'd have brought it back up though.
Shannon Sharpe went and brought it right back up when Skip was trying to say, "Oh, I thought we wouldn't talk about the tweet." Now, if Skip would have went on and kept bringing up what he did when they had a Lakers topic, y'all would be killing Skip, saying Skip wrong. Keep it consistent. That's been my mantra for the last year. Let's just be consistent. If you a trash talker, talk trash and take it. If you don't talk trash, keep your mouth shut and get a different job. Like, we come on here every Monday and Thursday and we talk. If Damien or somebody want to get in the comments and critique us, so be it. Like, we sign up for that.
Right.
But I can't be out here just talking crazy in the name of ASAP if I go cover a game or something and then I'm getting into it with the players. Or I'm at a, it's just not a good look. You are an example to too many people, or at least you self-proclaim to be. You and Uncle set the example. When a young man get out of line, how you gonna handle it? And that was part of his apology. The situation escalated and he didn't diffuse it. He turned it up. Be better. But huge win by the Lakers, which nobody's talking about. Really, really big win against Memphis.
We needed that. Now we are what it'll be 2 games out of sixth place now. 2 games.
The West
my did Shannon Sharpe put a spark underneath them Lakers, boy. Woo! Thank you, Uncle Shay. We needed that.
You do know nothing's happened. Yo, the Bucks scored 148 points.
I turned that game off. I turned that game off.
148 to 122. Ain't nobody really putting up big numbers.
No, that's why I turned on. Milwaukee start waving the white flag at the end of the third quarter. I mean,
Oh, I see. He only got 27 minutes.
Yeah, about mid third quarter, Milwaukee started waving the white flag. Like Detroit was no match for them tonight. No match.
That's
Look
cool.
like Dallas Cowboys. Oops, my bad, Kenny. My bad.
Bums right at home. He talked all that trash. And they played two more games, and we beat them. Talked all that trash.
Oh my God!
But we shall continue to why y'all are here. Oh, I didn't put. I just explained it. Like, he didn't go off on the NFL. He asked a question. No, let's not revise history. He did not go off or do nothing crazy. A stupid, I guess it's a game. And I don't think it was stupid. I said on air, once they knew he was alive, I'd have kept playing. And clearly Cincinnati felt the way about it. Because Joe Burrow has made it very clear all that stunt y'all pulled, he wasn't a fan of. Now, he ain't taking no shots at DeMar Hamlin, but the way the NFL handled it, Cincinnati fell away. And Skip rightfully asked the question. So I don't think that was an issue. And I don't think those are even in the same ballpark for me. But we do got to address one last thing. Ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of this NFL season, we all had picks. We had regular season division winners, and Raymond cleaned up and showed out. Then we picked division winners. Oh, I'm sorry. We picked games. Raymond cleaned up. Division winners, actually, I still cleaned up. Did good there. But then we got to the playoffs. And boy, oh boy, like a March Madness bracket, I am blown. I got nothing left. Nobody on this show has a team left. We all had the Bills or Chargers. Both are gone. We had the Rams, Saints, and Bucks on the NFC side gone. And we had Bills and Chargers winning it all, gone. So we can safely put to bed our picks for the NFL season predictions.
I want to put them to bed. Just go ahead and bury them. They got to go 6 feet under.
They are cremated. We will be picking games on Thursday. But as far as the year-end predictions, those are dead. So appreciate y'all doing it. But that's over. Get back to it. Football. We have Jacksonville and Kansas City. Man, I will be abundantly clear. Jacksonville was in that game. They did what I said they would do. They weren't ready for that kind of stage. There was mistakes. There was dropped balls. There was missed throws. There was poor clock management. Everything you would expect from a young team, Jacksonville gave us. I think they are going to be better for it. I think they are going to be around for a while. I think the Trevor Lawrence concerns, for the most part, have been put to bed. He still got a little more work to do. But that division is winnable next year. They should dominate that division. Tennessee, Houston, and Indy, none of them scare me. And I expect them to pick off and not take this for granted. I expect them to make them hungrier. With that said, Patty Mahomes is Patty Mahomes. And I ain't going to call him Patty Willis Reed Mahomes, but the man got it done. He figured it out. He gutted it out, and he got it done. So shout out to Kansas City. Big win for them. Keep maintaining and protecting home field. And now they get to host Cincinnati. That's kind of my 2 cents on that game. What were your thoughts on the Jacksonville Kansas City game? Any takeaways for you?
Like we've been saying all year, man, Jacksonville they are peaking so early, man. Nobody expected Jacksonville to even get this far. And for Jacksonville to get this far, hats off to him, man. Trevor Lawrence, you didn't prove something to me, man. I didn't have no faith in you at first throughout the season. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was just like, where's this guy that everybody keep talking about in Clemson? Where's this guy at? Oh, just give him time. And I kept saying, I don't know. I don't think time is gonna be on this side. But clearly, Doug Peterson and Tom was the best thing that happened to Trevor Lawrence, really, because he was able to be coached the way he was coached in Clemson, because Urban Meyer didn't do a good job. He was able to put himself in the big stage in the big moments a little bit. It might not be the biggest stage or the biggest moment for his career yet, but so far what he did towards the end of the season and going to the playoffs, man, Trevor Lawrence showed me something because you clearly don't have a number one wide receiver yet. You know, I mean, they paid Christian Kirk like he is number one wide receiver, but I don't fully believe that Christian Kirk is number one wide receiver. Travis Etienne was in and out the lineup all year. Jacksonville defense wasn't nowhere to be found at the beginning of the first 8 games, and then all of a sudden they just did a whole 360. You know what I mean? They found the identity and they stuck to it. So that's what I got out of Jacksonville. It's just Kansas City was just a better team. They got bigger players, bigger stars, way more chemistry, better coaching. You know what I mean? It's just a list of things that was favoring Kansas City way. But for Jacksonville to only lose by 7, I don't think they should be holding their heads down. I think they should be going to this offseason saying we were 7 points away from tying it up with Kansas City, one of the top team in the AFC. So it's nothing to hang our heads down. If we can just find a number one wide receiver or just get Trevor Lawrence a big weapon, a big threat. Somebody like how what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. They got that man AJ Brown, a big threat. So I think if Jacksonville can find a big threat somewhere, even in the free agency, or if they can draft right, Jacksonville is just not that far. They just need a star. They just need a big star, somebody that can say, "Put me on the back and I got it." Whether it's Trevor Lawrence taking that next step, or he's gonna have to find a wide receiver combo or somebody that fits him. But they most definitely need a big star down
No, I don't know, man. I don't think you need a big star for me. I think Zay Jones is solid. I think Ingram, if he continues to grow and progress and stay healthy, ETN, I could see them having another running back. Because I don't think ETN is just like Tony Pollard, which we'll get to a little later. Prayers up to him, broken leg. Those kind of backs, just the lower legs is just not that strong, So I don't want ETN, Derrick Henry in with 300 carries or Christian McCaffrey 300 carries.
Yeah.
You want to kind of space that out. So I would like to see them go get a running back. I think there'll be a bunch of good running backs available to kind of fill that role. I don't think Christian Kirk is a one. I agree with you. But I think the Kirk, Jones, Ingram, even Marvin Jones mix is solid. If they can go draft somebody maybe in the first round, I don't know what draft pick they have, I would be okay with that.
So do you think a veteran, maybe like a veteran leadership, can lead these young guys? Somewhere like
I think it's
what about an OBJ? A hungry guy trying to make his name back into the NFL.
Yeah, I can see somebody like that. Christian Kirk plays well in the slot, so I don't know how much that would impact him. But no, I could see, a veteran, coming in and helping out. I think the issue when I look at the box score and just the game, they had 3 tackles for loss and no sacks with a quarterback with a high ankle sprain. You got to go get somebody that can get to the quarterback. And I think that was Buffalo's issue. Without Von Miller, they're different. They're way different.
Most definitely.
And we watched what Dallas looked like when they was getting pressure. And we watched what they looked like when Dallas couldn't really get pressure. And pressure, it just makes such a big difference. We saw Dak without pressure. We saw Dak with pressure.
I think Jacksonville rookie, what was his name? Travion Walker. I think he hit that rookie wall pretty much towards the end. Because people started to see that he got that potential to be that top pass rusher that's coming up, with a Parsons, a TJ Watt, something in that caliber. So I just think that he hit that rookie wall a little bit. So hopefully next season he can most definitely swindle that sophomore slump, as people like to call it. And actually take that next step and become that elite pass rusher. Well, not the elite pass rusher. I always say you at least need about 3 to 4 years before you become an elite pass rusher, but at least a name pass rusher. Let me say that.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think the issue now, and you saw it with Dallas, you see it in Philly, you see it with the Giants, you see it in Washington. Actually, the whole division. It's not just one anymore. It's not just Vaughn. It's not just some of these edge rushers. You got to have two.
Mm-hmm.
You got Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. You got Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. You got
Khalil Mack and Bosa.
Yeah, you need two really, to be perfectly honest, because if you only got one, they'll double team.
Yeah.
And
unless you got a solid D tackle that can make some noise, because there was one D tackle, I can't remember who he was, but for him, I think he had like the most sacks for a D tackle this year. Is it Chris Jones?
I think Chris Jones play on the end.
Okay.
We could try and look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. But I was like, dang, for a D tackle, he had some.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of his name. But with that being said, I did want to get to Damien's question real quick while we're looking it up. So here's my thing. And y'all who have been on here, y'all know me. Y'all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I think he is one of the most overrated. Oh, no, Chris Jones is a D tackle. You was right.
Okay.
He had 15 and a half sacks. I think he is one of the most overrated underachievers in the game. And I don't think it's close to put Pat Mahomes in that category, because Pat Mahomes has been to multiple Super Bowls. He's won multiple AFC titles. Yes, he only has the one Super Bowl, but Aaron Rodgers has choked on a bunch of occasions and big moments, and they've been his fault. So that for me, I think Pat Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers personally. I think in 20 years, we're going to look back at this generation, and Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the Aaron Rodgers he is today. By the time Herbert, Mahomes, and some of these other guys, Burrow, Allen, by the time they're done with their numbers, their accolades, and hopefully some of their rings, Aaron Rodgers will not be a part of that conversation. He'll be Drew Brees. He might be Drew Brees. Maybe. But I think Drew Brees might even be better given what he did for the city and how he overcame. Aaron Rodgers' talent is second to none. His ability and accomplishments, when it matters, doesn't get it done. But plenty of talent. He's had plenty of talent. I don't want to hear that excuse. He had Clay Matthews and some other people on defense at times. Like, I don't want to hear none of that. So, yeah. That's my 2 cents on that. What are your thoughts on Damien's question?
Aaron Rodgers is a tier 3 quarterback. Of course, we know Tom Brady is that tier 1. He's sitting on the throne by himself. And then he gets to like the Patrick Mahomes that's going to tier 2, and maybe the Josh Allen, now Joe Burrow, maybe, you know what I mean? Then maybe you can sprinkle potentially a Lamar in there. The only thing I can't potentially sprinkle Lamar in there, only because injury played had hit him the last 2 years. But most definitely he's in that tier 3. He's up there with the Drew Brees, the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, the now Matt Stafford is now, you know what I mean, somewhere climbing up to that tier, from tier 4 to tier 3. You know, Aaron Rodgers is going to somewhat be hovered around that area because this one Super Bowl appearance. He's supposed to be the baddest man in the NFL, or at least one of the baddest men in the NFL, and not really once that the road to the NFC has been went through Lambeau Field. You know what I mean? It's been multiple the NFC Championship somewhere else, whether it's in San Francisco, whether it's in Dallas. Well, no, not Dallas. Sorry, Dallas. y'all haven't hosted NFC Championship since the 90s. But it's been different places. It just never been, going through Lambeau. And if it was going through Lambeau, Green Bay got put out early. So
They did.
you know what I mean? So it is just like you want to rank Aaron Rodgers up there because he's been league MVP twice. He led the league. He was 2 touchdowns away from throwing 50 touchdowns this couple years ago.
Mahomes is throwing 50 touchdowns.
You know what I mean? So it's just like when you throw Aaron Rodgers' stats up, just like what you just did, you could throw another quarterback like, well, yeah, Whatchagum did that. So it's just like Aaron Rodgers never took that to me. He never took that next step for him to be in that tier 2, really.
And that's for me. Like I look at Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers. His playoff record's 11-10. Damian said he's went to 2. If somebody can tell me the other one he went to,
he only went to 1.
In 2016, it was the Patriots and the Falcons, and every other year he only won 1, maybe 2 games. So Damian, if you have another Super Bowl he went to, let me know. But I only have him at 2 Super Bowls, and I'm pretty confident I'm right. But if I'm wrong, I'll admit that. The numbers.
I just remember the Steelers Super Bowl when he had Jordy Nelson, Jennings. When he had like 6 wide receivers that year, with Charles Wilson winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Right. So and they won that one. I know that was 2010.
That was it.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, Damian, what the other one was. Yeah, John, that's what we thought. And John, you said Nick Chubb and Hunt also. I don't think we talked about free agent running backs. I'm guessing is what you was talking about. So
yeah.
Well, Nick Chubb ain't going nowhere. If they let Nick Chubb out of Cleveland, fire everybody. Like
you let Nick Chubb go, you might as well let Deshaun and Amari Cooper go too.
Yeah. And boy, did they miss Amari Cooper yesterday. With that, well, I don't even know. If Dak throwing to the other team.
Remember, say Dak throwing 2 interceptions.
That guy, just another guy making a bunch of money. Congratulations. Jerry Jones said he robbed him, and he did. So congratulations to Dak on cashing them checks. But we had another game. This was the one game I was wrong last week. I thought the Giants knew how to play football. I thought Jalen Hurts was coming off of a bad injury. I was wrong twice. Jalen Hurts. And Mahomes is probably about to add another MVP to his resume and another AFC championship to his resume, just while we're at it. But I think
stop it. Get some help.
What you disagree with?
No. Whoever said that Mahomes is not that up there.
Yeah. I was about to say.
There's no reason to keep comparing Aaron Rodgers to Mahomes no more. Just stop it.
And that's the thing, John. That O-line did not look injured. And I will say this, and I saw it trending on the internet. Tony Romo was kind of annoying with how much praise he was giving Cincy, but he was right. Like, they were handling him, and it wasn't Tony's shining performance, and they was roasting him, and it was a little annoying even for me I didn't have a dog in the race. Like, I just wanted to see a good game, but he clearly had no love for Buffalo for whatever reason. But that Bengals offensive line, they stepped up. Joe Burrow didn't get touched. In the snow. He came right out. Him and Jamar Chase we talked about, top receivers. We might need to start talking about top duos. Because as a duo, it might be hard to find a better duo than Burrow to Chase. Cousins to Jefferson is good. Burrow to Chase got you to a Super Bowl and 1 game away again. So they're doing something special, and they better figure it out in the next year or two because they both about to get paid, and they're gonna get paid a lot of money. So while they on them rookie deals, you better get at least one, Cincy, because when that time comes, Joe Burrow getting that bag.
They already talking about negotiate Joe Burrow contract this offseason.
I know. Oh, then it's too late. You're right. They are up.
So
they are up. I think Chase, he got one more year because Chase
he
came
got
out
one. Yeah, right? Chase came the year after.
So you better get Joe right this year, or you need to win this year. Get Burrow right next year, win again, and then you're gonna pay Chase, and you have to cut a bunch of people. And then
that's when you lose Higgins and Boyd.
Yeah, Higgins, Boyd, Mixon, some defensive players. They got some corners. I just don't see that happening. All good, Damien. We all make mistakes. I make less than most, but everybody makes mistakes, so it's all good. You know how I do. John, do you think if Tua didn't get hurt? No. I didn't like Tua coming out of college. Let me be abundantly clear. I thought he was injury-prone, overachiever with not enough arm and a ton of talent around him. He was a product of his environment, like an inner-city youth. However,
did you have that written down?
Nah, he just.
How many times did you rehearse that?
I mean, I've had enough Tua conversations to kind of have that on standby, I guess. But no, I think he was in a great system that nobody understood, and then they figured it out. And the team looked really average. They finished the year really poorly, and he got hurt as he always does. I said earlier in the year, Tua should not come back after that concussion when he dropped off his feet. I said, quit, sue. But he came back, so that sue option is probably gone. But if I'm Miami, I don't bring him back. I think you can get somebody else maybe for 1 year with a bigger arm, or, there's decisions to be made. But I don't think Tua can get you where you want to go, especially in that conference. The Bengals, I don't see them going nowhere. Buffalo, for what it's worth, I don't see it going nowhere. Kansas City ain't going nowhere. And there will be some movement. I think Jacksonville should, if they stay healthy, get better. So I think the window's closing. And, yeah, I don't know what the Ravens are going to look like. I think Cleveland will be better with a full offseason with Deshaun. I just think there's a lot that I have against Tua being in that class. I just don't think it's a deep run. And they need to have a more balanced offense. It can't be Tyreek or bust. Jalen Waddle's too good to be ignored as much as he gets ignored in that offense. As a fantasy owner, he gets ignored too much. He's too good. He's too good to have that discrepancy, and I can try and pull it up for targets. But I would like to believe, barring amount of games played, he had significantly less targets than Tyreek, and he's not. He's good. So that's my 2 cents on Tua. Dev, what you got?
Tua is an average quarterback. I just think that offense fit him. You know what I mean? And when that offense fits you, of course you're going to look good. Because we clearly see that once Tua was out of that system wasn't running that good. You know what I mean? They went 0-4 in December, 1-2 in January, including the playoffs. So
4 or 5 in a row,
something like that.
Appreciate that, John. Just real quick, John. That's what I was pulling up, and even more so than that. And you expect a bit of a drop off, but even for Waddle, he had 140 last year, and now this year he dropped 23 to 117, and you see Hill up at 170. That I don't think that's a recipe for success, in my personal opinion. Sorry, go ahead, Dev.
But most definitely that I don't know who else to go out there and get if you're not going to bring Tua back. So the only thing about it is I would franchise tag. I wouldn't put him on no big deal. And if I was Tua, I wouldn't take the franchise tag because now, it's just a limbo effect because
that's true.
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
a great question. Should Tua, if offered, sign a franchise tag?
because Tua can't. He just showed, like you said, the health concern. Now he had we had these questions as he came in from the NFL draft, and he had some injury seasons. Most definitely now concussion is most definitely is. You need your mind as a quarterback. Your mind is your valuable tool. You got to sit here and study the playbook. You got to know what this receiver is about to do. You got to sit here and study the defense. So that's a lot to be thinking. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm sitting here, hey guys, he didn't went through 2 bad concussions. And he got a bad hip still a little bit. Even though it didn't flare up or didn't bother him, but we still got to think about his hip. Because as he get older, does his hip still be the same? So it's gonna be a lot of questions, and I guess that's what everybody's destination for Lamar is to be back in Miami. The question is, y'all gotta sit here and remember: do Lamar wants to go back home and play football? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure everybody likes to go back home to towards the tail end of their career, but do Lamar survive down in Miami being back home all the time? That's just one thing to think about. But far as Tua and the Dolphins, it's going to be a hard decision because I'm pretty sure if I'm the Dolphins, no, I'm not putting no 4 years in the Tua. You can't show me that you can stay healthy. And if I'm Tua, I showed you that throughout that offense that I'm the better man. So you kind of got to pay me, or you're going to have to go through looking for another quarterback. So it's going to be a limbo conversation with the Dolphins and Tua.
Yeah, I would be curious the Dolphins cap situation because Lamar is going to be super expensive. Now, Tua's cap on a franchise tag is expensive too. But apparently Lamar turned down 133 million guaranteed. I've heard that reported. Don't know how true that is. But Damien, that would be something. I had not considered Miami, but man, you could run that read option kind of offense with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle speed. Like that's something
scary.
to think about. And Mostert's a solid back. Jeff Wilson Jr. Damien, that might be the best thing I've heard you say on this show since I've been on here.
And Miami got good defense too. So
they got the young D line. They got corners. They got draft picks. That might be need to try and go all in.
If they got the money.
Man, I really wanted them in Washington, but Miami sounds pretty amazing. I cannot tell a lie. Miami sounds pretty stinking amazing, and for an athlete, warm weather is always better. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That Baltimore window might fool around and close. Y'all don't want to pay that man because y'all ain't got a backup. Hey. Y'all don't have a quarterback of the future on that team.
Nah.
And it's not the most quarterback friendly offense either. Maybe y'all trade.
It might be different now that we ain't got Greg Roman no more, so it could be a little different. You know what I mean? Because now we might, depending on who our offensive coordinator that we land, we might can get some wives down here now. Because I think that's all we really missing is some wide receiver threat. You know what I mean? We got 2 decent running backs, and if you can convince Lamar, whatever contract we're trying to give him, because even my homeboy had made it, he was like, what if y'all franchise tag? I said, Baltimore franchise Lamar, that'd be the dumbest thing ever. You think I'm gonna pay this man $45 million for 1 year? No, I'm not. Don't get me wrong, he's worth it, but for a business standpoint, I'm not gonna kick out 45 for 1 year, and then he might bounce on me next year, or he might Kirk Cousins me because that second year franchise tag goes up to like 60-something mil. So Baltimore, get it done. Plain and simple. We all in here, Baltimore fans, Ravens flock, we all just get it done. If he turned down 133, you better offer that man 170. Something in that nature, if we can afford it. But don't let this great talent walk away, because if it is, we all going to be
Emotional damage.
I just bought me a Lamar jersey. I ain't even wear it all season.
And Damian, to your point, I'm not blaming Tua. I'm not even necessarily criticizing Tua's ability as a player. I think he's accurate with an average arm at best. I just don't think in that scenario you just laid out, an injury-riddled quarterback shouldn't be there. If you got a bad offensive line and you ain't that mobile, you probably should not play there. So
that's the league. That's the way the league is going. If you're not a mobile quarterback,
you got to have some kind of mobility, man. The days of Tom Brady is gone. I don't think we're going to get no more of them. Not
you might get one.
Success.
You might get one, but
like Mac Jones is pretty immobile, and you see he struggles. But you also see in some of these fourth quarters, the Lamar Jackson start running, the Jalen Hurts start running to pick up them third and shorts, them potentially fourth and shorts. You need that. And
even Justin Herbert can go.
Justin Herbert can get down when he got to. Josh Allen will definitely get down.
Well, he most definitely ain't scared.
He probably should get down more than he does. But speaking of Josh Allen, we got to get to it. We got to get to it. The Bills' magical fairy tale run ends in a nightmare. An absolute debacle, an absolute snow plowing, pun intended, of the Buffalo Bills by the Cincinnati Bengals. I was thoroughly impressed. Cincinnati from jump came out with intention. They came out with focus. They came out with intensity. They came out with purpose, and they got it done. They played that game like they knew the NFL tried to play them and disrespect them by selling tickets early. And Damar Hamlin or not, y'all gonna feel this. And hey, the better team won to me. The better quarterback won. Josh Allen, he's kind of like the Jacksonville Jags to me. I'm not quite sure who he is yet. Because he do some Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre stuff where he just try and throw the ball through people in. It ain't that. And let me come back to y'all. Because y'all tried to tell me about Stephon Diggs. I didn't see the man. At critical times, in a critical game, I was looking for Mr. Diggs.
Josh Allen couldn't find him either.
Now,
and that's why Diggs was upset.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But I didn't see it. I saw what Chase did. I've seen Jefferson do it. I need it. That's the moment. I saw Kelsey do it. Kelsey went off. This is the time where you got to make it happen. CeeDee Lamb got it done. I will tell you, CeeDee Lamb has risen up the charts on my list. He ain't in that top 5 yet, but he's come a long way. Like, if you put up them kind of numbers with Dak as your quarterback, my God. You got to fight the defender for every pass coming your way. You don't know if it's to me. I'm sure they're going to be having CeeDee. They're going to have CeeDee doing DB drills next season because you got to learn how to play defense. They're going to have him in Oklahoma drills or how to tackle. You got to be able to tackle when Dak your quarterback, man. If you're a receiver, running back, you better be able to tackle because you going to have to play defense.
Oh, man.
Because he don't like to throw regular picks. He throw pick sixes. If it wasn't for the running back on that first interception, that's a pick six. Like, that was a terrible interception. That's something that I would do. Or like my son would do on Madden when he don't know how to play. Like, that was awful. Wow. John with a hot take here. When Knox has more yards. I don't know. I don't want to overreact because I think they did a lot. I am not putting this on Hamlin at all. They jumped that hurdle. They just got beat by a better team. Ed Oliver, I think for me personally, I don't know Ed. I think Ed's like, if you count number ones and number twos, he's a number two. He's not a difference maker, that kind of guy to me at this point. And you saw that down the stretch. When Von Miller went down, they ain't had nothing. Not for real. So I don't know about clean house. They just brought in a new quarterback. Oops, excuse me. Don't do that. Don't do that. One guy's been in the league a long time with phenomenal talent, Hall of Fame offensive lineman, world-class top 5 defense, and one is playing in the second year with a running back with Christian Kirk in his first year with a new offense. Like, they are not even close to the same.
That man had 2 head coaches in 2 years.
And one of them was, what was the Ohio State? Urban Meyer. And that debacle. Like,
he was getting lap dances from young women.
Mike Homer ain't exactly the world's greatest. Don't let me overstate how bad Dak's coach is. But the coordinators are solid. The team is well built. They've drafted well. It's a ton of talent. I'm not going to go there yet. Trevor is a favorite playing home playoff games and stuff like that and losing in 3 to 5 years, then come talk to me. But I think it's too early for that for me, Damien. But we're talking about Bengals and Bills. Dev, your thoughts?
The biggest thing between the Bills and the Bengals was Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was a monster. Joe Mixon came out and made purpose. He showed that that Cincinnati has the number 1 running back. Buffalo doesn't, because they did not believe in Singletary. They didn't even believe in their rookie Cook. So that was the difference to me. And then Cincinnati was more physical. I don't know if y'all seen on the group chat when I came in there, I was like, I don't think Buffalo know that they had a game today. You could just clearly see like they was not there in the beginning. Josh Allen tried to spark them up, and that's Buffalo's problem. You got Josh Allen doing way too much. Way too much. If you got 2 big wide receivers, you got Big Game Gabe, and you got Stephon Diggs, who I keep telling everybody, he's a top 5 wide receiver. But when you don't find your top 5 wide receiver, he gets frustrated. The offense don't look the same no more. Now you just hoping and praying that Josh Allen is that guy that he can get you to the promised land, which they've been banking on all year long. And I kept saying it. You can't have Josh Allen do everything. At one point in time, your running back's going to have to dominate the game. And that was the difference to me. And for the Cincinnati to have backups on damn near everybody on that offensive line, and you can't touch this man, it shows. It shows that Cincinnati is the better team. And then on paper, not on paper, but the Bills, their defense would just keep dropping. You see, Tre'Davion White wasn't too. He didn't look too good, and he didn't even finish the game. The backup for Damar Hamlin also went down. Poyer, he was nowhere to be found. He was only in there in the first quarter, and then after that, he was nowhere to be found. So it was just Buffalo didn't show up. I don't think Buffalo was ready. And Cincinnati showed that since the NFL canceled that game, they had something on their chest that they need to say. And they was like, the only way we're going to say it is through football. And we're going to punish the Bills for the NFL canceling this game. And they punished the Bills. So better team won. I think Joe Mixon was the big star. Joe Mixon was the reason that Cincinnati was the difference maker, in my opinion. Because you got a running back that was able to get 20 carries and over 100 yards and score. The Bills, their running game didn't exist. Their defensive line didn't show up. There's no way that you can have a secondary offensive line and y'all can't touch Joe Burrow. Even the Ravens, who our pass rush is not even that solid, really, but we was able to get Joe Burrow down 3 times. So you telling me Buffalo you can't get him down 1 time and when it counts? So Cincinnati was the better team. Buffalo didn't show up.
Yeah, like I said, just disappointing for them. Quick update: there is basketball on. We are entering the basketball time of year right now. I got Bulls Hawks 99-91. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the Hawks and their backcourt. I've said they need to break it up, and you could probably get a couple pieces off. I started to say something to y'all. I don't know if you guys follow them, but one game is like Murray and Young alternated. One game, Murray went off, had the points and assists, they won. The next game, Trey Young went off, points and assists, they lost. And it was just, for me, kind of a fitting microcosm, obviously an extremely small sample size, but it just reinforces what I've been saying. I think this team is better off with DeJounte Murray, and you trade Trey Young and you maximize his value. He's already locked up for a long term. He's box office. There's a lot of value for him, but those two will not be great together. I don't care what Kenny says. Go ahead.
I think I don't think you do the trade just yet. I think you ride this season out, see what it is. It's kind of giving me the feeling of what Boston was dealing with just about 3 years ago, when everybody was saying that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown could play together. You know, ship Brown off and let Tatum be the main guy and all that. And I think this is what Atlanta is also going through. They don't know who can be what on any given night. Now, as far as assists, I think that should be Dejounte Murray job. I think he should be the floor general, the facilitator, and Trey Young should come off screens. Should almost play like the Steph Curry type of role, in my eyes. I think that combination will work better instead of trying to force 2 guys who's ball dominant to be ball dominant. I just think that if Trey Young can just learn from what Steph do, you know, Steph don't bring the ball up every, you know what I mean? So it's just like that's what makes Steph game kind of unfair to people, because now you be like, dang, he's already quick and shifty with the ball. You tell him I gotta chase this guy off the ball, he can go in between screens and stop out here, do a pump fake here. And I think that's what Trey Young kind of should patent his game on. And I don't think he will go wrong if you do that, because Kobe did that to Jordan. He did the fadeaways, the low post game and stuff like that, and it worked for him. And I think it will work for Trey Young, and it will better their game. It will open their game up a little bit more, because now they still got John Collins down there, and he's not a bad player. He's most definitely like a 17-9 type forward, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 15, somewhere up in that range. I just think you just got to space that flow out. I just think those two. I was listening to Dejounte Murray on All the Smoke podcast, and he was pretty much saying that everybody wants them to split up, but nobody really wants us to work together. We just still trying to figure out what works for us, what lineup works, when it's time for Trey to, be that guy, when I'm going to be the main facilitator. Like, things is going to work. It's just not going to happen overnight, but it's most definitely going to get done. So I just think you ride this season out and then wear it out in the off season, depending on the team's success.
Okay, I hear you. I don't think there's anything wrong with waiting. They are 7-3 in their last 10, but I look at the East, I look at the West. I don't think that combo gets it done, maybe at any point, but we'll see. We got a couple questions I want to get to. John, we were going to get to it later, but we're here now. So let's get to it. I saw the Rui trade. Was there another trade besides the Rui trade?
That's all I know is the Rui trade.
Okay, it said
I
trade
mean,
moves this week, so I didn't know if there was more than one. I don't
you
know
go
what else
and
they
just
can
look at
trade besides Rui. I like the Rui trade for both teams. As somebody who's been in Washington, clearly we like trading players to LA, whether it's Russ, whether it's getting Kuzma, or whether it's sending Rui back. I like Kendrick Nunn. We could use some bench scoring in Washington, but ultimately, that's an expiring deal. Rui, it's time for him to get paid. We wasn't about to pay him, so we took on a Kendrick Nunn. I think he's pretty sure he's on a 1-year deal. So we got 3 second-round picks. I don't know what the Lakers might as well just not go to a draft until 2030. You don't send no reparations. You don't need to go to no combines. You don't need to go to no draft parties because I don't know what the heck they're going to trade. They traded a 2029 second-round pick. Like, God, dog.
We traded like 3 of them.
Yeah. 3 second-round picks. 1 next year, and then 2 more like super far away. So I'm not sure about that part for Rui. Like, he's a spot-up shooter, but he reminds me a lot of Otto Porter. And I didn't think Otto Porter was worth it at number 3. And if you look at the rest of that draft class, I think you would agree with me. We definitely reached there. Jans Vesely, we reached on him too. 2029 and 2028. Yeah, that's what I thought. John, appreciate that. So, like, you don't get no first round picks because they was trying to hang on to the 1 in the John Wall trade, and you just traded a bunch of second round picks. Like, if LeBron ain't gonna be there in 2 to 3 years, what you about to bring in? You think Phil Jackson, Jeannie Buss, and Rob Pelinka are about to entice these big name free agents with no LeBron there and no infrastructure and no young talent and no talent coming in anytime in the near future? I think it's about to be ugly for LA. Now, I could be wrong. Bron could keep playing at a high level. He can go get Bronny somehow, and it'll be like Lonzo going to the Lakers. So yeah, I don't really understand the decision. This year, I think it does make them maybe a better team, but other than that, I don't really understand why they made this trade at this point. As the resident Lakers fan, Dev, please enlighten us.
For the draft picks, I don't know why. I just think they just wanted to get rid of them. I guess he was just like, we don't need them. We're not going to sign these draft picks anyway, so let's just go ahead and get rid of them. Or maybe they believe in Hookah Murray, really. Maybe he can be that next wave of talent that that they was looking for, because he remind me of Kyle Kuzma, kind of a little bit. Same body stature, same.
He was on the same team as Kuzma. He was coming off the bench.
I seen Shorty a little bit. I don't never really pay him attention. I just know he's like a high energy type guy.
He's a 3-and-D-ish kind of guy for sure.
Yeah, it looked like he got potential to be that. I'm not saying he's going to be the 3rd best player on that team, but if he can provide a little bit better shooting, because the Lakers was guard heavy, and I'm not understanding why we were so guard heavy with Kendrick Nunn, Russ, Pat Bev, Troy, not Troy. And I forgot my man.
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves. What's the shorty with the same part?
You got the dude from Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie Walker. There you go. That's his name. That's his name. So, it's just like we are so guard heavy. And I
would
think
have much rather had Lonnie Walker over Kendrick Nunn, just for clarity.
Hey, I can't wait till Lonnie Walker come back off an injury. You know what I mean? He's most definitely being missed. But yeah, I really don't understand the whole draft picks. Them giving y'all so many of those draft picks, like that was just kind of stupid in my eyes, because you give away some depth on your bench, especially if you can't most definitely get these core players to come back like an AD or LeBron. You most definitely not bring the Russ back. Um, so it's just like it looked like the Lakers are preparing themselves once the AD and LeBron era is over with, that we are about to be in a total rebuild stage. Like totally. No future coming in, or I don't see how we can pay future to stay. So I
Didn't tank for nothing because y'all ain't got no picks.
right. So unless they got a plan on trading one of these core stars, um, before their contracts expire, just to get some picks back, I don't know what the Lakers doing. But as far as you bringing in Ukamari, it looked like we're just trying to stay relevant. Hopefully he can bring some, like I say, he a high energy guy, so hopefully he can bring some intensity, just like what Thomas Bryant is doing. Did you see what he dropped last night?
31.
I'm sorry, I'm no longer on. I'm no longer on DeAndre Ayton bandwagon. I'm sorry, Thomas Bryant. I am on your bandwagon, my guy. For you to drop 31 and 14, that's what Ayton. That's what we've been telling you should be doing. That's what I thought you was capable of doing. But you don't get me wrong. I like Thomas Bryant. He look like he can get it out the mud any time of the day. Once he's, if he can just stay healthy. And DeAndre Ayton, you can't do what this guy's doing. I'm not saying you have to do it every game because the Lakers not expecting Thomas Bryant to do it every game. But when you can and when you are supposed to, my gosh, man, DeAndre Ayton, I can't fight for you no more, man. I can no longer fight for you no more. Thomas Bryant, I like you, my guy. I hope you're around for the Lakers for a nice long time, man. For a nice long time. You got my respect.
For sure. And I gotta just piggyback on the DeAndre Ayton hate, mainly because of Kenny. I don't even dislike DeAndre Ayton that much. It's Kenny that makes me do this. But the Suns have won 3 in a row. Guess how many of those games DeAndre Ayton played in?
Hopefully all 3.
The answer is 1. He played in 1, and they beat Brooklyn. He was out, and they beat the Pacers and the Suns. I'm sorry, the Pacers and Grizzlies. Mikal Bridges, he's been playing well.
All time.
It's a short stretch. He's been playing well.
All time.
Suns are back to 500, but I can't wait for Kenny to get back because he got to explain to me this DeAndre Ayton character he keep defending. And they starting to win without him. When he was playing, and it was the last 10 games, and I was talking about all that, it was, Bridges needed to step up. And all these other excuses they had. Now, all of a sudden, they won a couple. We aren't 8 and out with them same excuses. So, y'all can miss me with that. Houston.
Yeah, y'all can miss us with that. We ain't with that 8.
No more. Taking the blinders off. Welcome to the right side.
Oh, man. Woo. Right, we take them shades off.
John, I don't want to agree with you. I think you are right. I think they are going to find a way to lose this game. D'Angelo Russell's at 30. Anthony Edwards is at 22. Good old Gobert at 11 and 14. But they are up 1. But that young core just don't know how to win.
What you talking about, Houston?
Yeah, they're trash. 10 and 36. And you heard John Wall was shooting. Said if they play for any other team, they wouldn't even be in the league like that. I agree. There's a way to play, and they play fun, and they're young, but they don't play winning basketball, and they are hard to watch. And I try to watch because they're young, but man, they play bad basketball.
They only good in the first 2 quarters. After that, once that drilling stopped going through them, and they just out there hooping. They ain't playing basketball. They just out there hooping.
Just hooping. Running around, cashing checks.
Getting cardio.
Damian, I agree with you, but it was out of their control. They ain't had no money. That's the difference between everybody taking less in Miami and everybody taking the max in LA. You don't get the Mike Millers, the Mario Chalmers, and some of the other guys. You got to give up Malik Monk. You can't re-sign him. You give up your young talent. You give up your draft picks. You give that all up when you try to build with the F them picks mentality. So best of luck. John, I doubt it. I haven't seen enough out of him. And they're still trying to maximize LeBron and sell tickets in LA. So I think if they start losing, and y'all been winning a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all start losing after LeBron breaks that record, I think we might start seeing more young talent.
Yeah, because Pippen not really making that much noise in the G League. So
that's the thing. If you ain't getting it popping down there regularly, I don't know.
Yeah, like he be on the bench, but he's more of a G League player, and he's not not getting no bump like that. The only way he's going to get bumped is Russ and LeBron that's going to sit out.
I'm with you. Next question, John. Actually, I'll let Dev go, and then I'll follow up because I've been leading most of the discussions. What are your thoughts? Are the Kings the biggest surprise team so far for you, Dev? They are currently sitting at third in the West at 26-19.
Third, I guess you could say they're a surprising team. Because at one point in time we was like, "Which direction is Sacramento going?" Especially when they got rid of Hollenberg. So when they traded him, it was like, "Whoa, what they doing?" But I guess they figured that him and De'Aaron Fox wasn't going to be compatible with each other, and De'Aaron Fox needed a big man, which it went and got Sabonis, which is a good idea. So far, it's a great idea. It's working right. They are the best team in California right now. So they most definitely are a surprise team this year. Now, it will be a bigger surprise if they can hold on throughout the rest of this year. If they can somehow, some way make it to even a play-in. I think if the Kings can find some way to make it to the play-in, I think the Kings can make some noise then. I think they most definitely need some momentum coming into the playoffs. I don't think they are one of the teams that they make it in the top 5 team, and they gotta wait for a team to play them in the play off the play-in. I think that's what Sacramento will most definitely get hurt at. I think since they are a young team and they want them scrappy things. I think once they know they are in the play-in, not saying that you should settle for the play-in, but maybe they should settle for the play-in so they can keep that momentum and go. Maybe you can sneak one past Memphis or a New Orleans, so whatever team they might match up better, coming towards in the playoff time.
No, for sure. As far as your question, I'm the only person I believe here that picked the Kings to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you did.
I was high on them last year when they made the trade. You are seeing the difference in Indy. They've lost 7 straight. Halliburton's been hurt, and they just are not the same team, which is really unfortunate because I like them as a team. But it might facilitate that Miles Turner trade that much more, and I think he's a very valuable asset. But no, I'm not. I don't think they're the biggest surprise team so far for me personally because I expected this. For me, if you had to say what is the biggest surprise for me this year, I'm kind of going to go the opposite way, and I know their record's not that good, but I really like Orlando. They're at 18-29. They're only 4 games out of the 10 spot. I think if they could make a move or two to get rid of some of that backlog of bigs they got and go get some more skill like wing and guards, I think they can be really good. So for me, that's probably the biggest surprise because I expected Sacramento to be good. I did not expect them to be third. So that is a surprise at this point in the season into the new year. But yeah, from the Lakers at 12 to the Nuggets at 1, it's 11 games. Like it's jam packed, and unless you're the Spurs or the Rockets, you're still in it. Portland came out hot. They've definitely come back to earth, lost 3 in a row, 2 of 8 in their last 10. Rockets have lost their last 10. They are up 7 against Minnesota, who has been a disappointment for me. Definitely, you talk about surprises. For me, Minnesota being this bad, I didn't expect. Not 500. I thought they would build on last year. I know we talked about it. And Karl Anthony Towns has been out. And
Ain't gonna make no difference.
If I was, with Jordan Woods, I might have some sick days too. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't see it for Minnesota at this point. And a huge block by Jalen Green there. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have expected them to lose to this Rockets team. Like, they should be better than this, and they're not. So
do you think Orlando should get some veterans down there, some vets, or should they stay young?
I do. I told John, you may have missed it. I think I said the Bulls are trash before. I don't think I didn't have them making the playoffs. I'm not. Levine and DeRozan are just not a good enough combo for me. It's similar to Atlanta. Two people that need the ball to score and they don't make a lot of plays for other people. Like, that's just not a great.
I think them not having Lonzo messed them up. Somebody that's the true point guard. I think so. I think that's what Chicago messed up, and they haven't found the guard that can actually run the floor. They, I forgot the guy's name. That backup point guard has been playing since ball has been playing.
Ayo Dosunmu?
Yeah, he is a scoring type guard. He doesn't really try to set up the offense, anything in that nature. So I think if the Bulls can try to find a guard that can maybe Chris polish a little bit, can score, can set up the offense, and something like that, I think that will better fit them, and I think that's what Lonzo was doing for them. He was the guy that can see over the court because he's 6'7" and got good vision, and his shooting got way better since he got with Chicago. So I think that's what Chicago is missing. Because they got some good talent down there. And Vucevic, and Drummond, and Levine, and DeRozan. But I can agree with you about Levine and DeRozan. One of them has to go. And I'm leaning towards more Levine. I think DeRozan is more loved in Chicago. And Levine is more. I think if you trade DeRozan, your team is depleted. I think if you trade Levine, your team can survive with DeRozan. Hopefully, whenever ball comes back.
Like, and I agree with you. And I apologize, but like, I'm watching this Rockets Minnesota game. Minnesota made a bit of a run. Jalen Green is right now. He's hot. He's got 41. It's 109-103 with less than a minute left. He pull up and shoot a 3 with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Now, he made it. It was a transition 3. He made it. So it worked out. But that's not smart basketball.
No.
Those are the things that get you beat. And it might work this game, but if you think you can get away with that, that's just not winning basketball. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that piece. As far as the rest, I mean, I think we just got to kind of wait and see. Obviously, health has played a huge role. New Orleans is dealing with that. Ingram and Zion have been out. Brooklyn, KD's out. So we've seen Middleton's been in and out all year. Giannis has missed some games. And nobody is talking about it right now. Giannis is starting to miss more games. He's a supremely freakish athlete that seems to take really good care of his body. But I don't know. I don't know how much more that bowling ball running back style will sustain him without more time off. So I'm just tracking it. just tracking it. I don't know that he's ever had a major injury since he's become like
other than that hyper-extended knee he got in that playoff.
Yeah, I'm talking broken, torn. He's never really had that, and I pray he doesn't. But he's getting up there a little bit. He plays a very aggressive style, and those tend to, it's not always the best. So more power. Godspeed to Lonzo. I had no idea he'd be out this long.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, this is bad, in my opinion.
Chicago don't even, or even Lonzo, have a timetable of when he's coming back.
100%. Just a quick update, 108, 114. Minnesota's trying to stay in it, but Houston is hitting their free throws. So should be able to salt it away, but we'll see on that. Do you think 76ers can pass Boston? I don't. And I hate to say that because y'all know how Boston did me last year. But I think Boston's just a better team from top to bottom. So I don't see that happening.
And coaching, honestly, because they doesn't matter who's coaching them. Yeah. These guys are still the best in the East.
That's very true. Missed free throw from Houston. But I did want to get back to something because we left football when we jumped into the basketball piece. And that is the Stephon Diggs portion. We've all seen it many times where quarterbacks get upset, receivers get upset, yelling, throwing. Like Shannon Sharpe and T. Morant, they tend to make up pretty quickly. But we saw what happened on the field. And then we heard that Stephon Diggs left immediately after. Then I forget which veteran got him. It was a veteran running back. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Brought him back in. He proceeded to leave shortly thereafter again. My question is, what happens with Stephon Diggs? Is he back next year? Bygones are bygones? Or as he's sat on the sideline for the last couple situations where he's lost in the playoffs, does he think, man, I'll be in Buffalo in this snow playing with this inconsistent quarterback? I know I'm valuable. Maybe I can go play with my brother in Dallas. Like, there's options for Stephon Diggs.
I hope that's not one of them.
Duke Johnson, that's who it was. I knew it was a veteran running back. Cleveland, there's a lot of places. I don't know how many of them have the money to afford him. And I don't know if you're going to get equal value back. But I just don't know if this Buffalo team, I don't know. I don't know if this might have been it. They need to get a running back. They got a tight end. They got really solid receivers. Cole Beasley came back quietly, but played big after his whole anti-vax and rap career. And so I don't know. I didn't like it. I hope it can be repaired, but your thoughts on the Diggs Allen argument and then him leaving.
When you lose 3 years straight, you know what I mean? You've been to the AFC Championship, divisional round, divisional round again. You pissed. And I get it. You know what I mean? Because the first time he stood on the field and he watched Kansas City celebrate it. You know, nobody wanted to participate with him on that, you know, which I understand. Some people don't want to see another team's success. But he did. He sat there and he watched. Then, you know, last year, everybody was favoring the Bills again. Oh, it's y'all time. This is it. It came up short, you know, in the shootout. Which, you know, that's why they changed the overtime rule, because they figured it was going to be Buffalo and Kansas City again. There's no way we're going to let this happen again. But it's just that Buffalo, like I said, Joe Mixon was the reason that, in my opinion, was one of the main reasons why Cincinnati beat Buffalo. They had a running game. I think once you can able to release some of the pressure off of Josh Allen, you're able to make big plays. You're not always rushing through your progressions. You're not forced to do something that you probably don't want to do. And that's where Buffalo can't seem to get right is that running game. Don't get me wrong, Devin Singletary is a decent running back, but he is not that running back that you can just keep turning over and hand it 20 times a game. They try to bring in Dalvin Cook, little brother, but yet you still don't run the ball more than 20 times a game. So what's that? What that leads to Josh Allen be your leading rusher. So now you got Josh Allen running up and down the field. You know what that leads to? Fatigue. You know what else is going to lead to? Arm fatigue. Now that what's when you get to the fatigue, you're not really going through your progression. You're just hoping that that first man is open, and I got the arm talent to put it anywhere at any time at any given moment. And I believe that's how Josh Allen thinks, and I think that's what Buffalo just kept relying on. Oh, Josh Allen got the strongest arm in the game, so we're gonna let him be the strongest arm in the game quarterback. But when you got Cincinnati is sitting there just chasing you with a 3 to 4 man front and is getting home majority of the time, now you're Mr. Do Everything, can't do everything because your offensive line, which we thought the Buffalo offensive line was better than Cincinnati. But Cincinnati was getting home. They was able to put what you call him.
Eli Apple finally getting a chance to get his get back. They've been talking crazy about Eli for a long time. Y'all ran him out of New York.
Hold on, Eli. Calm down because when you got
talk, Eli.
When you got in the Super Bowl, that's when everybody was picking on you. So I don't think you want quite do your talking yet, Eli. But I feel you. But for Stephon Diggs, man, I understand your attitude. I understand that you probably wanted to leave early. Maybe leaving early was the best thing for you because maybe if you would have stayed and maybe they would try to talk it out, maybe he the moments would have got ugly in there. And then maybe Stephon Diggs starts saying things like, "Oh, trade me, get me out of here. I don't want to do it." At the heat of the moment where that he probably just frustrated. You know what I mean? So I don't mind. Hopefully they can patch things up before the offseason can be over with because it's just a game at the end of the day. I understand that he's a competitor. He wants to win. Buffalo, you gotta understand that sometimes, man, your best man is fed up. Dude, once you get fed up, man, it might be just best for him to go home for 2 days, couple days, sleep it off, drink it off, you know what I mean, and hit Josh Allen up, and then when he's cooled down and say, "Yo, what happened? Why you couldn't find me? Or what was the offensive coordinator telling you this?" And stuff like that, and try to fix it as you go through the offseason. But they try to talk to him while he's hot. I don't think that's a good sign, especially how these these wide receivers are, man. They feel like they open every play. So I don't see nothing wrong with it. At least nothing bad really came out of it. You know what I mean? He didn't say he hate Josh Allen. He didn't say he wants to be traded. You know what I mean? It's just he left early. You know what I mean? He's a competitor. He don't want to, you know what I mean? He was hurt. And when you hurt, man, what you do? You go home to your girl, go home to your family and be like, hold me. You know what I mean? So I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Okay. I'm with it. I'm typically on the player side in this, so I hope they can work it out. I think they are a dynamic tandem. To John's point, I knew it is a huge deal. He just got paid. He'll be around. But they better start winning because that deal and that Von Miller deal going to start taxing, and they got to pay Josh Allen. No, Josh Allen did get paid.
He got paid already.
He got paid. So them next couple years, you
better. What about Big Gang Gabe though? He ain't gonna keep getting these big yards, and you know what I mean. He gonna have to get paid eventually too, especially if he keep having decent years. I'm not saying he's the true number one or anything, but he's one hell of a number two.
That's facts. That is facts. Speaking of the Magic, they beat Boston tonight. Well, I don't think Jaylen Brown played, but big win for them as they continue climbing up those charts. So best of luck to Buffalo. I do have to ask. I do got to ask. What happens to Trey Lance? Brock Purdy is looking pretty nice for next year. You got Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy just keep on winning. So what do you do with Trey Lance? Do you have him come in the offseason healthy and compete? Because I don't know how high his stock is because we ain't really got a chance to see him. John says Titans. I like it. I ain't gonna lie, I like it. Him and Derrick Henry. They got Robert Woods, possession receiver. I think it's an option. Your thoughts?
Keep him. Gotta keep him. I understand Brock Purdy is looking real pretty and all that, but gotta keep him. We didn't even get a full dose of Lance yet. Because like I said, you're going to need a decent backup, whether it's Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. You're gonna most definitely need a decent backup. And number two, we don't know when is Trey Lance going to actually step foot back on the field next year, and then when he does, how soon do you want to throw him back out into the woods? Because if you don't want to rush him, you still got Brock Purdy, and especially if Purdy can, doesn't matter if he lose the NFC Championship or lose the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy most definitely showing that he should be a quarterback in this league. But I don't think you should just give up on Trey Lance just that quick. Not just yet. You most definitely gonna have to, not saying have a quarterback competition, but it's best to have two quarterbacks on your roster, because look what happened when Dak wasn't healthy in the beginning of the season. You had Cooper Rush, and Cooper Rush was able to keep that momentum for Dallas, because Dallas season could have went down the crapper. You know what I mean? Remember, Kenny gave up the season once Dak got hurt and they threw Cooper Rush in. So I don't think you just get rid of Trey Lance. Now Jimmy G, yeah, he's gone. He lost his second role, man. He most definitely ain't gonna be a backup, and I think that kind of works out for San Francisco, because now you can go ahead and get something back for Jimmy G, because there's going to be some teams that's going to be like, we need a quarterback. So we might as well go ahead and jump on this Jimmy G now, because I think they said he might be set to come back if the 49ers can get to the Super Bowl. So I just think you don't give up Trey Lance yet. You most definitely give up Jimmy G, but you just keep Brock Purdy around, because, like I said, just in case Trey Lance is not 100% in the beginning of the season, at least you know what Brock Purdy gets you.
I hear Josh Johnson, but no, sorry, I don't think he's the answer. Maybe you keep him around as a third guy, but you can't bring four of them back. Trade him to Jimmy, trade him to the Saints or Colts. I don't think the Saints would make that deal. I don't think the Colts. The Colts have been down that road. The old veteran quarterback, start over.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The team is not good enough at this point, in my opinion. They're not a quarterback away, like we may have thought. So I wouldn't give up assets to go get Jimmy G. If I was a team, who would I look at? I could see Vegas looking at Jimmy.
I can see the Jets looking at Jimmy.
I can see the Jets looking at Jimmy. Derek Carr. I would like Derek in the Jets personally. I think he would work there.
It was a rumor came out that said the Jets, the Commanders, there was another team, maybe the Titans, is looking to be interested in Derek Carr.
I mean, I would be fine with Derek Carr. I think I like Heineke, I do, but I'm realistic. He's not Derek Carr. He's not Lamar. If I was Derek Carr, I would not want to go to the Panthers. Like I'm not sure if he has a no trade or not, but you ain't sending me to Carolina. That's what we're not gonna do. Now, you want to send me to Miami? We can talk about Miami. But yeah, I can't do nothing with Carolina for me personally. I think they're a scrappy young team. They'll be good in a couple years, maybe, but I don't see it. It's 10:40. We'll say I had some more Dallas topics, but I think they're more fitting for Kenny anyway. I will ask this. Excuse me. There's another guy that we haven't really talked about. And he lost last week to Dallas. And he's been quiet since he left. What does Tom Brady do, Dev? And what do you think he's waiting for as far as in his decision-making process? His boy Gronk did not come back and bail him out. We know AB ain't coming back to help him out. And he ain't helping him. So, what do we see for Tom Brady next year?
Hopefully retirement. Hopefully. There's nothing else we should see from Tom Brady, especially not on the football field. You already set the Super Bowl standard high. You already set the league MVP high. You already set the AFC championship high. You didn't already went to another team and went to the Super Bowl. Set that standard pretty high. I just don't know what else is there to for him to prove. I think Tom Brady just go ahead and take that Fox deal. It's been sitting on the table waiting for you. They just waiting for you to sign that paper. And so far, if Fox ain't renege on that deal, you should take it. There's nothing else out here for you, man. I don't see a good team for you that fits you. And once upon a time with San Francisco, but it looks like San Francisco is now with two quarterbacks. Seattle, if everything goes right, I most definitely don't see you going to Seattle.
I think Seattle gonna run it back. To be honest, I mean,
yeah.
I think if they get a great option, but I think Geno's still relatively low risk, low reward, and I don't think you have to pay him too much off 1 year.
Right. So I don't see that. We already just said Indianapolis should just go ahead and be young, as far as that quarterback range. I'm pretty sure the Commanders, he's not on the Commanders list. I'm pretty sure he's not on the Jets list. I just don't see a perfect scenario where Tom Brady fits and can still be a championship run team. I think wherever he goes is going to be a struggle. Unless it's Las Vegas. It's like the only place really because it's the Josh McDaniels system. You still got a Devontae Adams, you got a Waller, you got Renford. Hopefully you can be signed Josh Jacobs. So it's like that's like the only promise seeing for Tom Brady. But in my opinion, I just think he just need to go ahead and retire and hit up in the broadcasting booth because I really don't. Even if he go to Las Vegas, I still don't see Las Vegas being a Super Bowl contender or even getting out that division. That's still Patrick Mahomes' division. And I don't think he wants to see the AFC West defense 6 times a year either. So, let's go ahead and retire, Tom, man. Just hang it up. You set the standard pretty high. Majority of these quarterbacks is not even going to reach that some of them standards. So I think you just go ahead and retire.
Yeah. I agree. I think he can still play. Let me be clear.
Yeah, he can still play.
He can start in this league. I don't know if the right opportunity presents itself. I definitely think this Brock Purdy resurgence kills any chance of him going to San Fran back home. Miami's still an option. but I just don't know that there's a great
But with that
ready-made.
offensive line, though,
Yeah, that's true because he ain't moving. So I just don't know that there's a situation good enough.
right.
Maybe if you can move Dak, give him a call. But that's of the contenders, the real contenders. I don't think you want to go play in the cold again. So I agree with you. I think it's time for him to hang it up for good. It'll be, man, what a run. It hurt me last time he did it, but it hurt me more to see him lose his family and his team be so bad. So,
Oh yeah, all right. For Derek Carr, it's the Saints, Commanders, Jets are interested in Derek Carr.
It's a lot of teams looking for quarterbacks, and it's a lot. It's a couple coming out in this draft too.
Mm-hmm.
So Carson Wentz, good luck.
That's almost good luck for Baker Mayfield, maybe too.
Nah, Baker approved. I've said it before. I don't say it again. Baker should be back in LA. He is more than capable as a backup, and in the right situation with the right offense. Now, if Sean McVay quit or leave, off the table.
Yeah,
Off the table. No, they paid Kyler Murray way too much money to bring in Tom Brady, and they would have to trade for Sean Payton because the Saints still have his rights. So I don't even know if you have anything really to give. I don't see that. I don't know why he would take that job. I think there's better jobs also.
way better jobs.
And that division, it's winnable. It's not a lot of dominant teams besides San Fran, but
You don't think the Rams gonna get back on track? I don't think next year. I think too many injuries.
I think the money they've paid is about to catch up to them. The Ramsey deals, the Stafford deal, the Cup deal. I think all that money they've shelled out these last couple of years trying to compete, I think that's about to come calling, and they're gonna have some real decisions to make. Mm-hmm. So I think their window's closed. Aaron Donald's older. He keep in and out. Am I going to retire? Am I not?
I think he's retired this year.
So yeah, I don't really see that. Just quick update. Like I said, a couple games on the slate right now. Portland, who is currently out of the playoff picture, is playing San Antonio, who's out of the playoff picture. So slow start to the night. I think there's one. Is the Memphis game? Did the Memphis game start yet? Let me check. I know Memphis. Yeah, Memphis and Sacramento.
Yes.
Okay, so let me get that going.
NBA TV.
15 early in Sacramento. It looks like everybody's playing. Ja's not on the court, and it's 7 minutes left. So I'm not sure if he just got in foul trouble or something. I can try and look that up. But definitely a great game. I believe. Well, let me see. I believe it'll be a great game for you guys for the night. And Ja Morant is not playing.
He's not playing.
So I would say edge. Dang, Harrison Barnes is 4 for 4 from 3 already.
Then Sacramento is now 21-17 now.
Yay. So it should be a good game for y'all tonight. Before we get out of here, I do got to give a shout out to my fake alma mater, my heart alma mater. I attended Temple University in North Philadelphia for 2 years. My first choice, but Philadelphia's out-of-state tuition, even 20 years ago, is what it seems like. I graduated. I went there in 2006, so I wasn't joking. Like almost 20 years ago.
Right.
The out-of-state tuition back then was absurd. So I ended up graduating from George Mason, still a phenomenal school, but Temple's my heart. And the T for Temple, University. Fight for the cherry and the white. Knocked off Houston, the number 1 basketball team in the nation. Shout out to my Temple Owls. It's not every day that you get to take down the number 1 team. Probably won't happen for a very long time again, but I love the school, love the city. Even though their fans are trash, don't shoot me. They are. But shout out to them. Big win for that program. Just congratulations all around. I don't know if y'all gonna make the tournament, but you do have that feather in your cap. You can tell your grandchildren that story. Beat the number 1 team in the nation, big time. John, you mentioned Kansas. It's only a 10-point game, and it's on the road in the conference. Excuse me. It's about time for me to get out of here. Get up. But a 10-point game, they can still make a run. I wouldn't say they're getting rolled. Maybe they, I don't know. Maybe they were down early and they're making a comeback. I have not been keeping up. No, it was only a 7-point game at halftime. So no, they still in it. But enjoy the night, everybody. We will be back on Let me check. Don't let me lie to y'all. Pretty sure we should be back on Thursday. Getting these picks in for this weekend. Should be a fun time, man.
Hopefully my man Kenny back.
What's that? Oh,
Hopefully
yeah.
my man Kenny back.
He be working. So
let's go, coach.
Come on, coach. You might got to call in sick or something. I don't know. No, don't do that. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Chris, hopefully you having a blast back at college, learning that I think he's majoring in broadcasting. And again, Monday, today, episode dropped of the Bond Chronicles. We get into a lot of different things. Sometimes you need to talk about things besides sports. You need to take your mind off, get a little entertainment in your life. So if you want to laugh, you want an enjoyable time, the Bond Chronicles dropped today at noon, talking about the Tennessee police, talking about that Martin Luther King statue in Boston. Shameful. Now I see why y'all did Udoka like that. Y'all don't like us up there. I knew y'all still ain't like us. Put that tag on statue, $10 million of waste. But whatever. That's all I got. Dev, talk to him before we get out of here.
My 95th thought will be out tomorrow by 4 p.m. We're going to be sitting here talking about them, give you the recap on the divisional round. Some offensive coordinators being fired, where I think they're going to land. And some keep it up with some Shannon Sharpe entertainment also. Recap on that. Then the Lakers. So check me out. Most definitely will be out tomorrow by 4 p.m. As always, I'm always dropping every Tuesday. You can always catch me on my social media platforms. My Instagram is right here, MTMO_sports podcast. Facebook and Twitter is my THTS, my opinion. Check me out, man. I'm always there.
Definitely do that. Tune in. We also got the Patreon on usually Thursday drops, so some exclusive stuff there. So definitely tune us out. We will also be here on Thursday, getting into the playoffs and any other trades that might come about. So we're getting close to that season, all-star voting, all that jazz. Tune in, like, share, and subscribe. Run it up. Have a great night. We are out.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.